Madam Chair and Mr. Secretary and General Brown, General Raymond, thank all of you for being here. Thank you for your service. Two quick questions. One, my observation, we've only seen obviously the skinny budget so far, but I think your budget's going to need to go higher. We've obviously departed from what Secretary Mattis and Secretary Esper laid down as what they thought the appropriate growth rate of 3 to 5% was. So in the event you got more money, Mr. Secretary, where would the focus be? What would be the top priorities? The second question, I'll just get it in now. Obviously, we talk a lot about acquisition, but if you represent a district that has Tinker Air Force Base, you worry a lot about maintenance of the capabilities that we have. We have a lot of these legacy systems hosted here, and some of them are so old, it's extraordinarily difficult for us to get parts and to have those parts manufactured. I mean, we're talking about KC-135s built in the 1950s and 60s that are still being maintained here. So I'm curious as to what the plans are to beef up depot ability to, manufacture parts, things like additive manufacturing, 3D printing manufacturing, those type of things. What are we thinking of in terms of increasing the capabilities? Because we're going to have a legacy force for a while. That's why we call it that. And again, we're sort of reaching the point in some areas where we literally have outlived our supply chain.
Cole, for the question. In terms of the top line, the way I would approach the answer to that is that the top line we've said all along, and in some of the opening statements you all alluded to, that as we go forward, we're going to have to probably make some hard choices and some difficult decisions concerning trying to invest in the future versus continuing to support some of our legacy systems. And so we've actually been talking about that for 2 or 3 years in terms of focusing on the future and taking some additional risk with some of our current systems and some of our legacy capabilities. My sense is the budget you'll see is a balanced budget that can support the national security strategy with some reasonable risk, and there's always risk involved as well. And so you will see, the service chiefs by law will provide you with an unfunded priorities list, and that will give you a sense of where that next dollar might go in terms of their priorities. But I want to continue to emphasize the fact that we need to focus on investing in technology for the future. And regardless of where the top line is, we're going to have to make sure that we make some focused decisions about continuing to respond to today's demands and try to manage that in the best way we can. As both generals have indicated, we're falling behind. And so we need to go fast, we need to catch up, we need to invest in the future. And so that is really the focus of our budget, regardless of where the top line actually is. In terms of Tinker and all, we actually have a number of initiatives to try to improve the supply chain and try to improve our capabilities, everything from adaptive manufacturing to other kinds of things. We have what we call a strategic alternate sourcing program where we assist vendors to come in and do business with us and try to provide additional capabilities we don't have today. And taking a note from the acquisition world, we actually now have a rapid sustainment office as well, in addition to a rapid capabilities office. And their focus is on the supply chain, and their focus is on logistics and supplies and the like. And so we are looking and making sure that we're taking advantage and taking a look at diminishing manufacturing sources and other kinds of things to make sure that we're well postured with the supply chain. We're as worried as you are to make sure that our supply chain stays as healthy as can be. So I hope.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And I know we'll have a continued dialogue about this. Just one more point in the few seconds that we have left. And I know you'll do this, but I just want to state it. I remember a number of years ago, during the Obama administration, the decision was made to eliminate the reserve AWAC wing, which actually is at Tinker. 28 of the 32 AWACS fly out of there. It was a big mistake, not because we don't need new systems. We do. Those are old platforms, 707 bodies. But if we had not had that capability, it would have really eaten into our ability to wage air warfare. So it was a big fight. We won the fight. The planes are still there. I love it. We developed an alternative or a new platform. But as you're doing this, again, I'm supportive of I know you sometimes got to make changes to reinvest, but please don't give up capabilities that you might need in the immediate future. It's a very dangerous world, as you know better than me. And sometimes you're going to need those legacy systems. So anyway, thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.